So I'm actually going to do a short mini video about golden shadows. I feel like in my previous video I did expand more about what integrating your shadows looked like, but I feel like I need to spend a bit more time explaining how that can benefit you, or at least give you examples of how it benefited me. Again, like shadow work is not a concept that's readily talked about, and I feel like it can give a lot of wrong impressions just hearing the word shadow work. Once you start digging into the theory of it and understand what it means, it becomes like a rabbit hole, very interesting. But actually applying it is a whole other level. And I've been specifically applying it to the point that I will do shadow work prompt exercise. I will, do some shadow work meditation. I will consciously choose to look and dig into these aspects of myself. And I really like the term golden shadow because it really balances out well the term of shadow work, darker shadows, right? If you throw in there golden shadows. And ultimately, that summarizes the output of doing some shadow work. So, golden shadows are literally your untapped potential that you have within. And somewhere along the way, when we grow up, we kind of get lost in more into our shadow self, which tends to have a grasp on us if we don't kind of snap out of the out of the of not being self-aware and going through life um unable to be aware of what we carry within. And this, by the way, is what I refer to when I talk about a healing journey, about self healing, inner work, inner healing, is about really uncovering, um, really diving into what you have learned so far along the way of your life path and assessing whether or not it's still serving you and kind of cutting loose what no longer is. By cutting loose of the things that are no longer serving you, you learn to make space for what can actually really um, really bring you passion for life, for example. So this is kind of what, people talk about when they say, well, have you found a purpose in your life? A lot of times that just means, are you doing what makes you happy in life? Are you happy, right? Are you enjoying life to the fullest? And this can be hard to uncover when you are still being under the weight of your darker shadows. So by releasing those, and by releasing I mean integrating them, which again does not mean to reject these aspects of you, but to actually bring awareness to why so far you have rejected these aspects of you, and extending like an olive branch to them, love and compassion. You start ultimately, how can I say that? You start actually appreciating all of the parts of yourself, and you start to just appreciate yourself as a whole, and to realize that you would not be who you are without all of these parts within, right? And once you can finally realize you know what potential you hold within, and you can kind of work through these obstacles that are within you, you can really start to make place for your golden shadows to shine. Now, for me, one of my biggest discoveries recently, and where I feel like I finally unleashed one of my golden shadows, is through my creativity. And I've always been a creative person, but along the way, I have lost that into just living life as you know, as I was expected to live it without making the time to tap into my creativity, right? So along my healing journey, things happen and I met people and I've been in situation where I actually tapped back into my creativity. And whereas at the very beginning that looked like doing a very small um, painting with like dollar store acrylics, taking 5 minutes of my day to just do that for fun, I soon realized that I was opening back up the door to my authentic self. And that kind of just automatically started going hand in hand with my inner work. So as I was working more on my letting go of my darker shadows, I started really discovering that what made me happy and passionate was to um, have a lot of creativity throughout my day, a lot of self expression, because for me, creativity is self expression. And that had always been my challenge to express my emotions, because I had learned along the way that it was not okay for me to, um, to express my emotions, um, because they didn't come out right. Um, because they have been repressed and suppressed so much. So I just needed to accept these parts of myself and teach them that there's a way for them to express themselves, but there's a right way for them. And one of these ways for me is through creativity. So as I learned to tap into my creativity, I've learned that I could actually sit with my emotion, really focus on how I was feeling, and that's what would come out as like a beautiful piece of art, right? Um, so, uh, if I go one step further, and I really do think this happened to come into my life at the right time, but I discovered the Nia technique, where Nia is a somatic movement fitness practice. So it's many things into one thing, but briefly, to summarize it, it's basically doing like a workout while dancing, integrating all kinds of different movement forms. So not only are you feeling good physically, but you're also feeling good. Like for me, it's very healing on, on the level of the mind, body, and soul as well for my spirit. And so, Nia being a multi healing art, so it has martial arts, it has healing arts, it has dancing arts. And I'm not going to go too much into details, because this video is not about Nia, but it's about how for me I was able to discover Nia and start practicing this on a daily basis. Um, I think I was only, that came to me because I had done the inner work previous to that. And not only is this beneficial to me on a personal level, but I do feel like with this, I will be able to give back. So I'm just at the beginning of this new journey for me. So the point here I'm trying to make is that when you have done the harder work, or at least have dipped into working on some of these aspects of yourself that do need more of your attention, love, and acceptance. Once you start doing that, and you kind of, you integrate those, you're actually able to have more space. You become freer to display your golden shadows, which is your potential, which is what you're able to give back to the community, which is what you're able to share back to the world. And let me tell you, I think if everybody was able to do some inner work and tapped into their golden shadows, their potential, we would have so much more, just holistic beings helping one another rather than the way it is right now, where we think we're supposed to go through life a certain way and just do things a certain way without ever questioning why we're doing something, right? And then at the end of our life path, looking back, what was the result? Were you happy? Like, did you do the things that you enjoyed? Which also means usually when we enjoy something authentically, we're able to give that back and help somebody with that. Like, these are all things, right, that by doing the inner work, you can start looking at these things and integrating these things, which I think is a beautiful gift to become self-aware, at any point in your life. And just in general, doing some inner work, which can look like that, which can look like shadow work, for example. So I hope this really gives a better idea of how shadow work can benefit you with a concrete example. So basically, I know I've done 2 different videos, and basically putting all of that into one video would have been way too long, but you got more videos. I can give you different perspective. So I'm curious to know if if ever you get to that point where you uncover some of your golden shadows, and it might not look like, it might not be because you've done shadow work. It might be because you've unblocked your golden shadows through another means that was better for you in your healing journey. I'm interested to know how did that happen for you. So if ever you want to share, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I hope that the information that I have shared so far on shadow work has at least maybe sparked a new thought within. So let me know if that's the case. So I wish you well. Thank you.